中田さんから英語を学ぶメリットがあるんですかね。Atsueigoさんから英語を学ぶメリットがあるんですかね。もし君が英語で喋れるようになりたかったらね、この動画を最後まで聞いてくださいね。英語で考えましょう。こんちくわ。KY先輩です。アメリカ英語のグーグー。もし君がもっとアメリカ人みたいに喋れるようになりたかったらね、今週の生放送のオンラインセミナーに登録してください。君の目標は何ですか？英語で喋れるようになりたいか？それとも英語を勉強したいか？もし英語で喋れるようになりたかったらね、英語を聞いて、英語で喋って、じゃあこの動画を最後まで聞いてくださいね。The first thing we need to do is to discuss what our goal is, right? Because if our goal is to speak English, then there are certain things you need to do in order to achieve that goal. But if your goal is to study English, then there are other things that you need to do that are not related to the other things when you want to speak English, right? So please, for the first thing that we're going to do here, we have to determine what's our goal. Do I want to speak English or do I want to study English for like a test or something like that, right? So if your goal is to speak English with people in reality, like face to face, then listen to what I'm about to tell you because I'm going to talk about Nakata-san and Atsueigo with that mindset, okay? The mindset that I want to become bilingual. I want to speak another language that I'm going to learn as an adult, right? We're not raised in this second language, right? We have to fight for it. We got to learn it. We have to take our time and use our brain power to actually learn how to speak a second language. If that's your goal, then listen up because I don't think you really need to learn anything from Nakata-san if your goal is to speak English, right? I mean, you can take a little inspiration from him because he is making so many videos and he does these like online English chat things with teachers, right? And he does his best, like he's really trying. And that's really admirable. And I think that you should try really hard too. But seriously, if you're going to learn how to speak English, you can better use your time more efficiently if you do other things, okay? And that is basically not listening to him for advice or actual English lessons because basically at the end of the day, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it 1,000 times. You got to listen to like 1,000 people if you really want to speak English, right? So you would better use your time if you actually just listen to native speakers speaking at a normal, casual, regular pace and not some sort of like educational stance, right? Like everything is so like educational that it kind of gets boring to me. I don't even like watching English lessons anymore because like it's like so kind of simple. And I know that maybe some of you are still like in the process of learning, right? So you're like, well, I got to learn English. I want to learn English, right? But I want to really affirm this in everybody's minds that we got to take a step back, okay? Because look, if I can learn how to speak Japanese in 10 months, right? You can do the same thing, just the reverse, right? You can learn how to speak English in 10 months too if you apply your mind to the right things. Like if you solve the right puzzles, then you're going to be able to speak English faster than other people who are doing the other thing, right? And to me, Nakata-san represents kind of like the I don't know, middle ground approach because I do like his effort, right? But he's so kind of like invested in this like, I don't know, teaching you about English, but at the same time, he's like speaking to you in Japanese as he does it, right? So the thing that you need the most is actual pure, unadulterated, native English sounds and words coming at you real time, right? And so one of the things I'm trying to do with these videos is just give you the straight truth coming out of my brain as I'm thinking it, because that's what you need to do. Even if I kind of mumble sometimes, or if it seems a little exciting or like weird at times because it's like, what are you talking about? I don't get it. The point is that I'm trying to give you the most pure English possible so that this video is valuable for your ability to eventually speak English one day. You know what I mean? If you're trying to speak English, you don't need to listen to Nakata, right? But if you're going to study English for like a test or something like that, then it seems like he has a lot of lessons that are going to be of value to you. So yeah, if you're in that test mindset, go ahead and listen to what he has to say, okay? But I swear to God, you don't need to watch him have a lesson, right? You should probably just be having a lesson yourself, right? But I also have to say that like listening to lessons is kind of boring too, because like all the teachers talk slowly and everything's like educational or whatever. And like, that's just not how reality is, right? Like if you go out into the street, nobody's like giving you lessons as you go, right? It's like sink or swim. You got to start communicating, right? And those are the kind of hardest lessons to learn because they're hard. It's easy to give up when like you don't understand what everybody's saying and you can't communicate, right? And so you retreat back into the books, you retreat back into a lesson, right? But we got to be strong and we got to try our best, right? And so I know it's hard, but seriously, let's get out of the classrooms and let's get out there and talk to real people, okay? Like I swear to God, that's going to be more beneficial for you than listening to one teacher, right? Can we learn anything from Atsueigo? You know what? Actually, you can. I have heard his English, and you know what makes him kind of interesting? He's got a weird accent, right? It's not my accent, it's an Australian accent, and that's fascinating to me, right? Because when I learned Japanese, one of the first things that I did, I learned the Kansai accent because that's how everybody around me was speaking, and I wanted to blend in. I wanted to be like everybody else. I wanted to be Japanese just like you guys. Of course, nobody's ever going to let me be Japanese. I'm always going to be a foreigner, and that's okay. I accept that now. But, you know, as a young kid, I was like, you know, I was like 18 and 19 at the time. I was like, man, I really want to blend in. And the easiest and fastest thing that I could do was learn the Kansai bin, right? So basically, when I hear Atsueigo's English, I can tell that he has some real world experience with real people because he's got a real accent, right? So all of a sudden, I'm curious, well, how did he learn it, right? So basically, long story short, anything that Atsueigo gives you as far as advice is concerned, you should listen up because obviously, I think he went from a normal Japanese person, just like you guys, right? I don't think he's born in Australia, and I don't think he's Kikoku Shijo, right? I think he started from nothing, just like you guys, and he achieved results. And so when he says, this is what I did, I think you should listen to him, okay? Because it's obvious. The second that I hear his voice, I know that he speaks English, right? So literally listen to his advice, okay? I would just say also that if you really want to get like super smart about this, like you can listen to his advice and that's okay. But how did he really do it, right? Like really think about it. How did he really get that Australian accent, right? And whittle it all away, get rid of the strategies and the three-step systems. The one thing that he did that you too can do if you just mimic his strategy is that he probably literally talked to dozens, if not hundreds of Australians in Australia. I'm just going to say that's probably what he did. So if you can mimic what he did, obviously he was mimicking what he heard, but he was also talking to a lot of different people, right? If you can go in there somehow and talk to a lot of different people, then you're going to be mimicking his strategies of success, right? So you can listen directly to him and listen to his advice, but there does come a point when you need to ignore your teachers. Leave the classroom, get out of the educational video column, and you got to start listening to real people, right? So even if you can't go to Australia right now, what you can do is watch videos in Australian English, right? Aussie Man Reviews is a good one because it's so full of just funny accents and like the guy has so many videos. You can listen to one of those and learn a lot, right? And there's tons of content coming out of Australia. So you can watch movies from Australia, you can watch famous people from Australia, TV shows, interview shows. There's just so much Australian English content that you don't even have to go to Australia. You just have to stop watching Japanese YouTubers teach English and start watching actual content, you know, like movies and TV shows from actual people who are just actually having conversations, be it podcasts or interviews or stuff like that. And if you do that every single day, I swear to God, you're going to learn a lot. And it's just like, well, what do I watch? I don't know. Well, start searching. Go into the search bar, type in English, Australian English, and just see what comes up. See if you see an interesting thumbnail. See if there's a headline that sounds interesting, right? I don't know. It's your life. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to learn? What do you want to listen to, right? And if that's your thing, then you don't need to go to Australia. You can start right now by stop watching teachers like me, right? And then go study the thing you want to do, right? So seriously, if you want to speak English, Atsueigo is a perfect example of a successful person who has started from nothing and now he's at the top and he's like teaching everybody, right? So do listen to his advice. But seriously, if you want to take it to the next level, you got to leave the classroom. You got to get out of the educational English mindset, and you have to face-to-face eventually talk to somebody in reality. I mean, we are humans. We have evolved in a certain way that doesn't involve computers. I don't know how else to say it, but we really do need human-human, person-to-person, man-to-man interaction in order for our brains to learn, right? So you can only learn so much on a video, right? But having said that, if you don't have access to all those people, because you're basically stuck in Japan somewhere, then you do have access to the internet. You just have to slightly shift, stop searching in Japanese, for example, start searching in English, and start broadening your consciousness to other types of people that you're not used to, right? Maybe there's an Australian comedian that you would like to watch and you think is funny and you think is interesting. Then please start finding interesting content that you're gonna like, okay? So seriously, no offense against anybody here, because I am trying to help you speak English. That is my goal. This is why I make these videos, and this is why I'm choosing to kind of like talk to you guys in English, because I enjoy speaking Japanese to you guys so much that it's like I want to make videos in Japanese. However, I realized that the true value of something that you guys can have that's going to teach you something is actually hear somebody explain all this in English, right? Because after all, you guys want to speak English, right? And I know that you listening to native speakers speak English is actually valuable. So that's my contribution to you today. And もしね、今の動画で全ての英語を聞いて全然分かんなかったらね、それとも半分ぐらい聞き取れてるけど、聞き取れてない部分も多かったらさ、ぜひ今週の生放送のオンラインセミナーに登録してくださいね。KY先輩の3ステップ学習法をシェアしたいと思うんですよね。英語ネイティブを聞き取れるようになる3ステップ学習法ですね。Step No.1、英語のカラー振り仮名を紹介しますね。Step No.2、英語の仙人聞かないで、英語の仙人聞いてください。Step No.3、教育英語弁勉強しないで省略パターンを勉強しましょう。もしね、君が英語で喋れるようになりたかったらね、このセミナーにぜひ参加してくださいね。こういうレッスン好きですか？KY先輩のチャンネルに登録してKY後輩になってください。英語で考えましょうっていうシリーズが好きですか？コメントのところで教えてください。起立、礼。ではまた今度よろしくお願いしますね。Take it easy, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.